Within a year behind bars, a defendant charged in the YSL gang trial could soon be headed home. The judge just agreed to set bond. And this new development comes a day after the defendant's attorney was arrested for allegedly bringing prescription drugs in the courtroom. Channel 2's Michael Seiden is live in downtown Atlanta with all these latest developments in the case. Michael.
Yeah, and that defendant will have a number of special circumstances if he is able to make bail. But in the meantime, we are speaking with that attorney who went through that wild day yesterday in court when he was hauled away in handcuffs. He's the YSL criminal defense attorney accused of attempting to bring prescription pills into the courtroom. But tonight, Anastasios Manettas is free on $5,000 bond. Channel 2 was the only station there Thursday night after he walked out of the Fulton County Jail. On Friday, he and his attorney, Brian Tevis, agreed to meet me in downtown Atlanta, where they explained what they described to me was an unlawful arrest.
The warrants essentially alleged that he had a prescription bottle with his prescription medication, and there was another dosage of the same medication in the bottle, which is not uncommon for the doctors to say, oh, well, you were on this many milligrams, we're going to change it to that, and then to have them in the same bottle is not really an issue.
I mean, I'm not a criminal, I'm a patient.
Manettas is one of more than a dozen attorneys representing defendants charged in the Young Slime Life gang trial against hip-hop superstar Young Thug and his alleged associates.
Yeah, it was humiliating. It felt like some kind of retaliation for something, but yeah, it didn't feel good.
On Friday, Manettas learned that his client, Miles Farley, who does not have a criminal record but is facing multiple felony charges, including murder, may be coming home soon after the judge set bond at $625,000. And so after they set bond, they did say that Miles Farley would be severed from this original trial. That means he will stand trial at a later date. And Mr. Manettas made it very clear he will continue to represent his client.
Now, also, Miles will have a bond. And so if he can come up with the bond money, although it's a lot, it's $625,000. And with the way the bonding companies work in the Atlanta area, we're going to have to come up with something like $75,000 to satisfy what the bonding companies want and the surcharge retainer at all. So if you're prescribed a medication by your doctor, like I am, for everything that was in my bag, then you could have had them just wrapped up in one Ziploc bag or aluminum foil, and that would be lawful. So there was no unlawful activity whatsoever. So I feel like I was, somehow targeted by the state in this case. I don't know why.
That you had faced, but that charge was later dismissed. You were accused of, I guess, doing something with a sheriff's deputy, brushing up against him. Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, that's just more of the same. And I'm in handcuffs completely. I turn around, I let them put the handcuffs on me. I don't resist at all. And then a colleague of mine says, throw me your phone. And I did want him to throw him my phone, not because I have anything in there to hide, but that is my attorney phone that I have sensitive information about my clients. My hands were tied behind my back because I got the phone out of my pocket with one of my handcuffed hands. It touches on the bulletproof vest of one of the captains, and it was wild. I could tell they were just like sharks circling me. They just couldn't wait. It was crazy. The only way I can really describe it is like a bunch of children when a piñata bursts and the candy falls down. When they saw that phone just brush and touch on the deputy, the captain, they got so excited and they're like, battery on officer. And, and I started getting that strange energy that you get from police that commit, violent misconduct, where they say things like stop resisting while they're just punching someone in the head who's tied up and not moving. So I was just getting that energy. And so that's what it was. And then they tried to charge me with that. And it was actually so ridiculous that they ended up dropping that. And instead, they charged me with willful obstruction of an officer for that. But
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in once again on the YSL State Rico case in Georgia. And at this point, make sure you got your seatbelt strapped on extra tight, because they steady increasing the speed, catching every drop, sharp turn, and curve that they can in this full-fledged roller coaster ride. And I'm going to have the links in the description from WSB-TV2 out of Atlanta and Law and Crime Network, where you can watch them clips from the beginning and full it and get the entire context, because a lot more was said in this situation. Now, the news that broke the other day that Manettas had been arrested for having the pills and the assault on the officer. And that was crazy in itself because they were saying the lawyer is now in jail with the guy that he's defending and everything. And that was crazy. The lawyer having to hire a defense for the case that he was actually going in there to defend. But now he's saying, hey, no, I didn't go like that. These pills are legal. They prescribed. And in the state of Georgia, they don't have to be in the exact container because it's going to be documented and everything. He did explain how the cell phone situation went down, saying, hey, man, I'm throwing in my phone to keep my clients' records and all my information private from the jail because I got people that I work for. My phone got to be answered by somebody at all times because we got a business to run. And if I'm sitting in jail, they got my phone and everything, that's going to make my clients feel away. So I had to throw the phone off. He said it tapped them on the vest and they just tried to chump up the charges. Even said they was like some kids going after a pinata. That nigga popping shit, but that's just how it go. We know how these police get down, but these charges probably should be dropped overall. But now his client, Miles Farley, also known as Lil Miles in this case, he's the guy that actually had the clothing line Make America Slime Again, has been granted a bond for $625,000. He said the amount like 70,000, 75 maybe that he'll have to come up with how their situations work in Georgia. But his trial will be done after everything with YSL trial is over, which the actual trial hasn't started yet. They still in the jury selection process at this point. Not one juror seated. And I'm going to keep it 1,000, man. Just me on the outside looking in on the court of law. I don't know all the laws, of course. They might as well give even more people bonds they can give them because this thing is going nowhere. Ain't nobody, and you hearing it directly from them, nobody wants to be committed to 6 or 7 months out of their life having to go down into the courtroom. Even the lawyers, the court-appointed lawyers are like, hey, man, we basically making less than minimum wage and having to take time out of our lives a day and be dedicated to this lengthy situation, and it's not worth it for us, and it's hurting us in the end. And I heard that it's kind of backing up a lot of legal things in Atlanta. So we shall see. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty on this trial and everything, but I expect that eventually people will start receiving some bonds because this thing that got real out of hand. So we shall see what happens. We got more coming, more videos, all that. Like I say, bro, this legal process is hell. Try to stay up out this shit, bro, because they gonna take you down through the water. You see, nigga, they'll even take your lawyer to judge if he end up pressing line and talking shit for you for your motion for your bond. So tell me what you think. We got more shit coming, more videos, all that. 1,000 for shit show.